Hi, good morning, everyone. What is my why? I'm Ashley Logan, and I always wanted to raise my children in the church. Church was part of my life growing up. My grandparents were really instrumental in starting a Lutheran church in Lombard, where my grandfather played the organ and my grandmother sang in the choir. I went to Sunday school, followed by Mass, sang in the children's choir, and we did this for years with my parents. The church had a modern design, architecturally speaking, and it had this giant wooden cross that hung from a massive skylight. And my observation from childlike eyes was that the sunlight seemed to beam a little bit harder when the music was most sincere and when the message was most loving. I learned there that God was light. I wanted to walk in the light, and I carried that feeling into adulthood. During that time, I also learned about the power of prayer and how miraculous it can be. I'm truly grateful for my parents for laying that foundation, and they're both here today. So carrying this knowledge into adulthood and the light and understanding the power of prayer got me through some really dark times and difficult challenges in my 20s. Then I got married, moved to Hinsdale, and still knew that it was really important that we built the values of church into our home, but we just hadn't quite hit our stride yet. So I enrolled my then 2-year-old, Antonia, into ECP preschool, which is how I started to learn about the values of Union Church. And during the pandemic, I started tuning into the services online and decided that we needed to be there in person. And God has a way of calling us in even the most inconvenient times. So one Sunday, a little over a year ago, I loaded up my gaggle of kids, who at that time were just 1, 3, and 5, into this giant wagon, and we set off for Union Church, where I heard that the 9:07 service was for families, and the kids, and if you've seen my kids taking laps around the sanctuary or the gathering place, you can imagine how well this service went for me. And one approaching the fire and others crawling in and out, and I'm holding them all. And Penny Johnson, the absolute angel that she is, tapped me on the shoulder and she said, "You know, Ashley, during the 10 o'clock service, you can drop your kids in the nursery." and then Antonia can come to Sunday school. So that was a game changer for me, and that is what we do and what we've been doing ever since. My mom started coming with me to the services, which was special, just beyond measure, and having 3 generations of girls sitting together until Antonia gets called away for Sunday school. And then after the 10 o'clock service ends, I go get my boys from the nursery, where they immediately wreak havoc in the gathering area. And it was an easy decision to become a member, but why? Grant. Here, I find so much love. The traditional values of casseroles, community, and service that I recognize from growing up in the church. The progressive message of love, acceptance, and faith. The incredible people here who have gotten to know my kids and their names and hug them and answer their funny questions. Get to know my mom and my family, and get to know me, accepting of who we really are. I was matched with a mentor, Anne Ryland, who is, she is thoughtful and kind and welcoming, and I truly treasure the relationship, and I don't feel like that's something that happens everywhere. My children performed in the pageant here this Christmas as a cow and an angel, one more angelic than the other. And I feel like I have gained a sense of community in helping my children understand that God is love. Love is light, and that the power of prayer is immeasurable because it takes a village. And that is a gift that lasts for generations, so they too may find their light. So, thank you.